Doma fam, welcome back to another session. Today's class is our 6 favorite shoulder mobility exercises. So for today's class, you'll utilize 2 blocks or large books and a pretty large towel. Grab your mats, meet us right back here. Let's get started. All right, welcome back. Let's go ahead and get started, and we're gonna start with our towel drill. So if you've grabbed a pretty large towel, you can choose the kind of length that you want. If this is your first time, start as wide as you possibly can, and then you can slowly start to increment in until you find the perfect spot. Each of these exercises will do between 30 seconds and a minute, so you can do them a little longer or a little shorter, depending on what you need. So all you're gonna do is take your towel out nice and wide, lift the towel over your head, and then let yourself come all the way back, oh mama, and then all the way forward. And then if this doesn't feel like quite enough stretch, you'll just release the towel, walk yourself back in a little bit, and then do it again. So a couple of times till you find that perfect spot. A couple of things that you want to avoid is any bend in the elbow. So if you have to do this in order for it to get over your head, then you need to take a wider stance. You also don't want anything popping. So please be mindful of, that kind of perfect spot where it should feel like a decent, strong, achy stretch, but never any sharp shooting pain. So let's keep moving over. Good. We'll just do a couple more. And this is a great way to just create some space in your shoulders, relieve some of that tension that kind of hides there, especially if you're working on deepening your backward bends or you just want to find a little bit of more space. Good. And then let it go. So this is something that you can always do and grab onto at any point before or after your practice. And we'll keep moving. We'll take ourselves into a puppy pose. So for puppy pose or melting heart, you start with your hips directly over the tops of your knees, and you'll walk your hands out in front of you. So you have a couple of options here. You can let your chest sink towards the floor, and see the way Brian is coming down. You can bring your chin forward, or you can let your forehead rest to the floor. Hold it here for about 30 seconds or so to a minute. And you really want to let your chest sink down. Now, if you feel like there might be a little bit more space, you can start to press into your palms even more and see if you can kind of find that little bit of sliver that lifts away between your forearm and the mat. If you have enough intensity with your forearm down on the mat, then you stay. But see if you can breathe into your space. The more you breathe, the deeper you breathe, the slower you breathe, the more your body will start to open, release, and relax. Come back to your breath. Come back to this moment. Good. And then nice and slow, press through your palms, walk your hands back underneath your shoulders, and come sitting down onto your knees. We're going to take this block stretch. And so you have a block, 2 blocks, hopefully. And if you don't have 2 blocks and you feel like your books are not quite as thick as our blocks are, you can also utilize a chair doing this. So you can sit up on a chair and you'll rest your elbows and kind of the backs of your bicep here. So you have 3 heights. You'll open up your blocks at whatever height, right? You can go lowest, middle, high. And you'll take your elbows on your blocks. You'll walk your hips back so that you can let your chest sink in between your elbows and bring your palms together towards your low back. And see if you can just let your forehead release. Now, if you come to this position and your head rests easily on the floor and you feel like, well, maybe there's a little bit more, then you can lift yourself back up, come up to a higher position, and then again, about shoulder width distance for your blocks. Place down, let your head and chest sink, and then palms come together, then fingertips release towards your low back. Make sure your hips are over your knees, let your head just kind of sink in between, and stay for a few breaths. It's like magical. Again, 30 seconds to a minute, and then you can back your way out. Nice and slow. Push through your elbows, lift yourself up and off your blocks, and set them off to the side. From here, we'll come onto our sides, and you can utilize your block again, but this time you're gonna place it in between your knees. And this way, you just lift your knee in line with your hip so that you can just keep your hips parallel and relaxed. From here, you're gonna take both hands out in front of you in line with your shoulders and palms together. Now you can always put a little, roll up your towel and put it underneath your head if you want to relax it down. And this can make it just a little bit more comfortable. So palms come together, and all you're gonna do is take a big breath in, keep your palms together. As you exhale, open up your arm and let your arm stretch all the way back as far as it goes. And then inhale, leave it open, then exhale to close. Big breath in, and exhale, open. So for this one, I usually do 5 on each side, so let's do that. Inhale, then exhale, close. Inhale, big breath. And exhale, open. Get a nice little twist in your spine while you're at it. Inhale, fill up. And exhale to close. 2 more. Inhale, and exhale, open. It's a really nice way to open up chest and shoulders. Inhale, and exhale to close. Last one, inhale, big breath. Exhale and open. Inhale nice and slow. And exhale slowly to close. Good, and then all you're gonna do is switch. So let's even it out on the other side. You can keep your block, switch it over, take your pillow with you. So just make sure your hand is in line with your shoulder. Block in between your knees. Relax your upper body and your head, and then take palms together with a breath. Exhale, open out. Inhale, big breath. And exhale takes you to close. And each side might be different. Breathe in. And exhale, open. Inhale, stay. And exhale to close. 3 more. Inhale. And exhale. Nice big breath. So you get some thoracic mobility. Breathe in. And exhale to close. And then nice stretch to the front side of your shoulders. 2 more. Breathe in. And exhale, close. Open, excuse me. Inhale, big breath. Exhale, close. Good. Last one. Exhale. Inhale, fill up. And exhale, close in. Beautiful. All right. You can take your block out from between your knees. Come all the way back up to your belly, actually. So make it back to the top of your mat. You can set your blocks out of the way. And you'll lay all the way on your belly and open up your arms out. So you're gonna take your right arm out as far as it goes. I'm coming for you, Brian. And then left arm out as well. Now you have a couple options, especially the shoulder that you're gonna roll on, and I'll show you from this side. So if you are rolling onto this side, you can also kind of throttle the pressure. So if it's out directly in line with your shoulder, this is going to be the most intense. If it starts to come down a little bit, this will start to lessen the intensity. So you can kind of throttle that for yourself. So we'll start on the right. Right arm reaches out. Again, adjust either your hand in line with your shoulder or a little bit down. And then you'll take your left hand, in this case, underneath your shoulder. Push your chest away, take your left leg behind your right, and then nice and slow. So this might feel like enough. You just let your head relax to the mat. You can also take your little pillow with you if you want it, and then left hand can come up and over. And you just stay. Nice big breaths. We'll stay here for about 30 seconds. And this hand can stay lifted just the way it is like on me, or you can just kind of slip it behind your back. I like to hold it open because I feel like it intensifies the stretch on my right in this case. And the leg that's come up and over, it doesn't need to do anything particular. So whatever way makes it more comfortable for you. Nice big breaths. And then we'll take our time backing out. So plant your left palm, guide yourself back down onto your mat, all the way down. And then we'll set it up for the other side. So this time, left arm reaches out nice and long. Right hand slides underneath your shoulder. Push the floor away. Roll yourself back up and over. Take your right foot behind you this time. And then again, you can take your right hand with you if you want it. And then come back to your breath. You can always walk your fingertips down a little bit if you need a little less intensity. So adjust accordingly, listen to your body. Your body knows what it's doing, so respect the edges that are there. It's here for about 30 seconds. Let it go. We just tend to hold so much tension and tightness in the upper back and shoulders. It starts to kind of collapse our posture and pull us down and down and down. And so creating a little bit more mobility here can be, like magic, literally releasing tension from our body. And the more easily we can move, the more easily we can release what we need to. Okay, nice and slow. Right hand comes underneath your shoulder. Guide yourself back to your belly. Ooh, this one always feels so good. And then press yourself up, all the way up to a seat. So for this next posture, it's kind of a double whammy. So you do have blocks, and this can make this movement a little bit more accessible and easy depending on how your hips are feeling today. So we're gonna make our way into Malasana, a nice low yoga squat. Now, if bringing your heels all the way down doesn't feel accessible to you, you have a couple options. One, you bring your feet wider, and this makes it a little easier to bring your heels down. The other thing is you have a block. And it has 3 heights. So you can always take the moment to sit on your block and practice from this position, which is a great option. Wherever you choose to take it, take yourself into a comfortable seat. Comfortable is a relative term now when it comes to flexibility, right? So take your moment. From here, you'll take your right hand behind your back, just behind you. And then what you're gonna do is drop your right shoulder down so you can slide your elbow inside your right thigh. And then you sit up. Yup, just like that. So it can be rather intense. Now, if this doesn't feel like enough, left hand comes behind your back, comes inside your left knee, and then you sit up nice and tall. Now, you can do one at a time. I'll tell you, the first time I did this, I tried to do both, and I was like, not a chance. So take your time. A couple more moments here on the right, and then we'll switch it out to do the left. Just gives this nice stretch down the front side of your shoulder, kind of really opening up the back side of your body. Travels. Good. Okay, release your right. Take it slow, no rush. You can let that go. And then take your left hand behind your back. Drop your left shoulder low, and you can pull your left knee wide if you need to, and then sit up. So I'll give you a little behind view so you can see. Just stand gently behind your back, and then you lift up. Nice big breath. So you get a little double whammy here. A little love for your hips and a little love for your shoulders. Last few seconds. And then release. So lean forward, left shoulder, elbow comes out rather, and then you can make it down to your knees. All right, you guys, that's it. Those are the 6 stretches that I swear by when it comes to opening up your shoulders. So feel free to do this whenever you feel a little bit of that tension building in your upper back, or you're working to deepen any postures that really involve the upper body. Thanks again for joining. Can't wait to see you soon.